Good afternoon. It is Monday, March 22nd, 2021, and now it's time for some endurance news. The 2021 Indoor World Athletes of the Year, according to Track and Field News, have just been posted, and the world women is Gudaf Tsegay from Ethiopia. I know I'm butchering her name, but I butcher all kinds of names. Her campaign was brief in the indoors, but brilliant. She debuted on February 9th with a world record of 3:53 in the 1500. It was the only world record for the women. Just 5 days later, she ran the year's fastest 800, 1:57.52, to move to number 9 on the all-time list. And 10 days after that, tacked on a year's fastest 3,000, 8:22, that made her number 2 forever. Sounds like a pretty good few weeks. And so it'd be interesting because I wonder if they're having so much controversy in the 800, if she's actually ranked number 9 or they've been changing that things up. Speaking of 800s, the American Women of the Year was Athing Mu from Texas A&M. I watched her a week or so ago at the NCAA Indoor Championships, and interestingly, she was not running the 800, even though she won the American Woman track title for the 800. She ran the 400 there. She's a big favorite, but you're on a crazy 200-meter track, and they only have like 4 people per heat. And so if you don't get a good lane, kind of in the outdoor force, kind of that way, but the bankment, and then they do one lap and then they cut in on the second lap. And if you don't make a good move, you do have a harder time winning. So she unfortunately came in second at the NCAA National Championships, but then in the 4x4, she helped Texas A&M win the title there. And I guess she threw down like the fastest ever 400 split indoors. So she, didn't even win a major title. Athing Mu was all over indoor stats. She was a world leader in the 600, 125, U.S. leader in the 400, 50.52, and the 800, 158.40. The 600 was a PR, but she moved to number 4 on all-time U.S. 400 list and number 2 in the 800. And to top it off, or there they go, her 49.54 relay leg at NCAA was the fastest in world history. Pretty impressive. Like I said, the 400 open is such a wild race because they stay in lanes for one lap and then they jump out of lanes. Kind of interesting to see if they did something like that in the outdoor track. It'd be kind of almost like rollerball. Honorable mentions for the United States, of course, was a distance runner, and they did list the field athletes, but I just cover endurance sports. So I do like my field athletes. I've always liked the jumps and the throws. But honorable mention was Elle Purrier, set an American record of 9:10 in the 2 mile. I remember watching that race. It was pretty impressive. She also has a list leading 8:36 in the 3,000. And then in the high school, it was Cindy Thorvalson from Wyoming, of all places. Wow. She turned out a yearly leaders in the mile, 4:43, 3,000, 9:09, and 2 mile, 9:47. Pretty impressive times, especially being out there in Wyoming, where she definitely probably doesn't have a whole lot of competition. So those are the Women's Indoor Athletes of the Year. Of course, being Monday, it's Gardner Day, and it's always Gardner Day, and usually my Chug, which is a Chihuahua Pug mix, Mr. Moo, will be barking, but he's 15 years old, so it sounds like he's taking today off, but you can hear it. I'm just going to keep on going because that's the way this is. In fact, I'm going to be going out. It's 5 o'clock now. I'm heading out on a hike at about 6 o'clock. Brad Stulberg says, Routines 101 serves as a bedrock of predictability, create a sense of order amongst disorder, automate action, allow you to show up and get going without thinking about it, what to do, help all kinds of people, no magic one, change over time, be able to let it go if needed. And that's what, if you listen to our video podcast today, that's what me and the Jester were talking about. It's all about routine. He's now getting up early in the morning and putting in his miles. I get out and do them in the morning all the time. And then, of course, I also do it in the afternoon. Got my wife a couple years ago to just start putting in her miles every morning. And it's not motivation. Routine trumps motivation. So just get it out. In fact, I tell people, and I have a challenge right now, my Being Boring challenge, where I want you to try and do 40 minutes of something at the same time each day for the entire week. So get up and exercise. I'd say, heck, even read a book would be awesome. But that's the thing you need to do. Just get that routine, do it long enough, and then it will just become part of your life, and you won't know what you did before that. Interesting, this result just kind of went right under the radar with all the Barkley stuff. Of course, Barkley starting to kind of over before the weekend even began. Harvey Lewis won a backyard in Ohio with 55 yards, meaning that's A yard is the 4.2 mile loop, so basically doing the math, he went 220 yards. Jennifer Russo gets the assist. Amazing work by both runners. And what was interesting was that Jennifer Russo was 55 years old and pushed him to the max there. So congratulations to both of them. It's very fun to watch those things. I saw a post that at Barkley Saturday and Sunday, the weather was quite nice. So it always goes to show you never know what's going to happen in the world of endurance sports. And like, man, just we're talking about, that's why you do them. You know, failure is an option, and oftentimes failure is when you learn the most. So, as always, stay healthy, be boring, not epic, and please subscribe.